Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This video is titled MAGA is over. And it's been a long time coming. When I say it's over, I mean that Trump has betrayed his base so many times at this point that he has lost his mandate of heaven. The crown has fallen from his head, and there is now a power vacuum. A power vacuum for a true America First, real rights movement to take his place. Trump recently greenlit doubling the H-1B program, bringing in a bunch of new Chinese students. He just approved of $100 billion more dollars being sent to Israel, a 23-year-long contract where we send them billions more dollars a year, $3.8 billion a year. And he's also been covering up the Epstein files. Well, it turns out there's a reason behind that, because he's listed in the files 1,500 times, more than anyone else. In one of these interesting files that were recently leaked, Jeffrey Epstein asked his brother Mark Epstein whether Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba, which is Bill Clinton's nickname. If this is not karmic retribution for what Trump has done to us, I don't know what is. It's so delicious. Whether or not this is true, who knows? He deserves this so much. But when it comes to Trump, I gotta give the devil his due. Trump's role in all of this was more of a battering ram. He was never supposed to be a righteous, great leader of history. He is someone who has paved the way for something real. He was never the real thing himself, and for that I do owe him gratitude. But let's be real here. Trump is controlled by Israel, and the Epstein Files cover-up is not just about protecting powerful US politicians, it's about covering up Israel's role in the entire operation. And certain Republican politicians are going against Trump, who were originally MAGA, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who Trump has been attacking lately, because she's not going along with his agenda, and she's actually being America first. I was never really a big fan of her, but, she's actually really coming around. There's a stark difference between her and these phony MAGA politicians like Vivek Ramaswamy, who wears our culture like a skin suit and praises our founders, but will ultimately promote and favor policies that bring millions more of his countrymen into the United States. Because their argument for bringing in more H-1Bs, it makes no sense on the surface, where our American military will train an 18-year-old to run a nuclear sub in the Navy, but then corporate America says, oh, we just imported 500,000 Indians for junior software jobs. I was someone who was in software development, and I can attest, we were being replaced by this serf class that corporate America is bringing over, where they can pay them way less wages, and if they leave the corporation that they were hired at, they lose their status. They are the absolute perfect slave class, and Trump greenlit our replacement. Like, we don't want this country to be an economic zone for these big corporations that have a literal slave class. We want jobs for us. And then people wonder why young men in America feel so disillusioned, when all throughout history, societies that neglect the younger generation end up in revolutionary times. We see this all throughout history. Yet people are still psychoanalyzing and trying to figure out, why are the young men becoming more quote-unquote radical? It's like, they have every right to feel that way. In fact, it's a moral failing for any young man to not feel that way in America. We have a right to reclaim America from the boomers and the corporations who have sold our country to the highest bidders. We don't care if you guys wave your fingers at us and say, well, what you're saying is not appropriate. Like, okay, the time for that's over. It's over when upwards of 90% of job applications sent by Gen Z college grads in STEM fields are denied. When 80% of these H-1B approvals are for entry and junior level jobs that's being taken from our country's young people. And then they gaslight us and say, well, Americans aren't talented or skilled enough, that's why we need them. Then why are you filling up all the entry-level jobs with these people? Back in the day, you would just train people at the company in order to do higher-level skilled work. What do you think we did in World War II? They sent housewives into these factories to build bombs. The Roman Republic collapsed in a civil war in large part because the wealthy elite collaborated with the political class to mass import foreign slave labor and disenfranchise the Roman citizen. That's exactly what's happening now. And there's no argument for bringing in 600,000 new Chinese students, which will just inflate the tuition and decrease opportunities for American students. And nobody can point to a single country in the world that's better off after mass importing a bunch of Indians. And what's really funny, like while all this is happening and the MAGA base is currently upset with President Trump, the far left is unironically trying to say, see, you should have listened to us. You should have voted for Kamala. They don't understand. Trump was the moderate option. They can't even fathom what's coming next. And I'm not even trying to be cryptic, but the current Republican establishment, it needs to be replaced. It's inevitable. The younger generation, they're not falling for the same tricks. Baby boomers are notoriously the easiest people to scam. That's why Indians target them. So anyway, this is my prediction that Republicans, they're going to lose the midterms. Then they're going to lose 2028. Then in 4 to 8 years after that, a real right leader will take over America. Because people will desperately cling on to something that's actually real, even if the mainstream media may call it radical or whatnot. They'll want something that's traditionally masculine to fix the problems that we have in this country, because that's the only thing that will be able to do it. The Republicans will have to change because they're just going to continue to lose and lose and lose until they throw off this Israel first anchor that's weighing down their party. And after so many losses, they're going to be too weak to fight off the America First movement. I mean, just look at how big of a joke the MAGA movement is now. Who do they have on their side? So now Ben Shapiro, Randy Fine, and Lindsey Graham are considered MAGA, but Marjorie Greene, Tucker Carlson, and Thomas Massie are not. Your Israel First MAGA movement is dead. The America First movement is the future. And I'm seeing all over X, people who were diehard Trump fans. They're looking at his Truth Social posts now, and they're just disgusted by him. People who once found him entertaining, they're now repulsed by him. I'm seeing videos like this girl changing her MAGA hat into an America First hat. Like, this is the way. I'm seeing more posts of people with their MAGA hats throwing them into the fire. They're done. Like, he's finally crossed the threshold. People no longer respect him or trust what his movement is doing. He's betrayed, Trump has betrayed his entire support base and sided with globalists, Zionists, and pedos. And the GOP became the guardians of the pedos. Good riddance, MAGA. I mean, just look what corporate America has been doing since 2020. 904,000 white Americans fired since 2020. 2 million Hispanics and 882,000 Chinese and Indians hired. They are completely replacing us in the workplace. And you think we're just going to like sit back and just allow this to happen and just accept not only the fate of us, but all of our children? And then you think that we're the bad guys for having a problem with it? You think I'm the villain for disagreeing? Like, no, I'm the good guy. I'm not a villain. Enough with these ideas like, oh, we're Joker, we're the bad guys, we're dark MAGA. Like, no, we're the good guys in history, actually. We're standing up for ourselves and our children. Because this is what, right here, this is what awaits us should we fail to reclaim power. Not civil war, not a collapse, not Islamic caliphates, but an inexorable descent into a great favela. A bit more criminal for each year, a bit more corrupt for each year, a bit worse in every way for each year. It's a necessary black pill. Accept the fact that things will just slowly get worse. And this is the worst possible scenario, and this is the one that is coming true. It's not some glorious, glamorous civil war that will happen. No, things will just slowly get worse and worse and more gross and soulless, and people will be more depressed if we do not reclaim our rights, our birthright. Young white men are radicalizing because they've been told their whole lives they're inherently privileged, yet they're systemically shut out of education, jobs, and opportunity. The disconnect breeds resentment, and it's going to get worse if not addressed. Like, one of my friends and coworkers, he's black, and he'll always say jokes, and they're just jokes. I don't take it personally. But he'll say things like, oh, you're white privilege, you know, you don't get pulled over as much as me. Like, the things you do on the road, I'd get pulled over immediately. And I joke back with him. I do not take it personally. I do not use that as a moment to stand on a pedestal or whatever. But it's just like stuff like that that makes us sort of grow in resentment. And I don't have resentment against him, but it's the way our culture is now. They keep telling us how easy it is to be a white man in 2025. And if according to them, we're just running the entire world. Even though you never see us represented in a positive light on Netflix, Paramount Plus, any streaming service you use. You don't see us getting these jobs at the corporations from that chart I recently showed you. You don't see us starting many families anymore that are stable and we own our own homes. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much of that, yet I'm being told that not only am I privileged, but I'm being cruel and unfair to other people who don't look like me. Like, that's total BS. So yeah, I just really feel it in the air. I do have good intuition. I'm not saying I'm a super genius when it comes to other things, but I have really good intuition, and I feel a change has finally occurred where we're just saying enough. We're not going to be pushovers anymore. That time is over. Real change is upon us. So, anyways, guys, thank you for listening. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.